doing Donovan Live and talking with director Vince, and I'm hearing you guys talking about movies and St. Patrick's Day movies. And I forget, St. Patrick's Day is Saturday.
Right.
You are, Boston Irish as it comes. So I would imagine, the Quiet Man
That's my
with
favorite
John
one,
Wayne and Maureen O'Hara is probably your all-time favorite.
It was, it was. And if I can find it, and I think I'll probably have a chance somewhere this weekend, maybe tonight, but soon, I'm going to watch it again. I love Maureen O'Hara.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean,
amazing.
She's stunning in the movie.
Yeah.
The movie, he was as I remember the storyline, and I won't give it away too much, he was a boxer from Pittsburgh, I believe. Mm-hmm. And didn't he hurt somebody in the ring?
Yeah.
He killed somebody in the ring.
So
he went over to Ireland, and he wanted to buy a farm, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it was a great movie. It was musical. It was great.
It was great.
There were a lot of boxing in it. It was, and she was fantastic in it. He was great in it.
It was, for all the talk that John Wayne wasn't a great actor, it was an Oscar-nominated performance.
Was it really?
Yeah. But he actually he didn't win one until True Grit later on in his career.
I did not know that.
But great movie. Yeah, it might be on. I don't know. It might be on Turner Classic Movies this weekend. A lot of times they do theme nights and things like that. They may do that. So we were thinking. So you have The Quiet Man. Anything with Daniel Day-Lewis pretty much, is like a go-to, The Boxer or Gangs of New York.
Yeah, I've never seen Gangs of New York. Now, there was a romantic comedy, and I'm a sucker for that. You all know that by now.
Yes.
Middle of the afternoon on Saturdays, yes, I watch a Hallmark movie. Okay? Right now, we're coming out of the Valentine's
It's a
movies.
judge-free zone here on this show.
We're coming into the June Bride type season
right.
on Hallmark. Anyway, but there was a movie, I think it was Amy Adams was in it, and I like Amy Adams.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was called The Proposal.
Yeah, she was in it with...
Who's the guy? He's terrific. He's been in...
Dermot Mulroney, I think?
No, I don't think it was Dermot Mulroney, but this guy was in The Good Wife, the series on CBS. Mm-hmm. He was also at the end of Downton Abbey.
Okay.
He married Lady Mary.
Uh-huh.
He was also in Brideshead Revisited.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
Handsome guy.
Handsome guy.
Yeah. Anyway, she has a boyfriend. And there's a custom, if you go over to Ireland on a certain day, the woman can propose to the guy.
That's right.
Great. She's great in it. He's great in it.
Yeah.
And it's a cute movie. And it's based in Ireland.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I loved you Did you listen to Van Morrison and Irish, music, those types of that type of thing?
Sure.
I even like the Corrs. the Irish band. I love them. I think they're great. I mean, I went to U2 last summer, and that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to when they were over at the stadium.
Now, what about the Boston-based band, the Dropkick Murphys?
I mean,
I don't know about the Dropkick Murphys. All right, I mean, they have the big song "Shipping Up to Boston."
Yes.
Sometimes I'd like them to ship off from Boston because I get tired of that song. But there was a great scene before Game 6 of the World Series when the Red Sox beat the Cardinals in 6 games, and for the first time in 100 years, the Red Sox won the deciding game at Fenway Park.
Right.
John Farrell was the manager of the Red Sox, and before the Red Sox came home up 3-2, and it's Game 6 at Fenway Park, and of course the place is just electric.
Crazy.
But they brought the Dropkick Murphys out to sing "Shipping Up to Boston" before they played the anthem. And they come out and they're out there to sing the song, and they started, and out come 2 sets of Irish step dancers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then the lights went
down. And
then the lights went down at that point in time, and the step dancers kicked the lights back on at some point at Fenway Park. It was absolutely, the Cardinals didn't have a chance at that point.
Right. I can't imagine. I mean, talk about home field advantage. That's like if, bust out the Raspberries. If you think about a Cleveland group, or singing Cleveland Rocks. You have the presidents of the United States come out and sing Cleveland Rocks before a game.
Right.
I feel like you'd never lose, right?
No. Yeah. Right. I hope we get to that
right.
point.
I want that
game. Yeah.
I want that. Corned beef served at the Donovan household this weekend.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And another big thing on Sunday, the Donovans will be attending the Hinckley Buzzard's Pancake Breakfast.
Oh, I went to that one year. That's
great.
Fantastic. That's
It is great,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's how you know spring's coming. Pancake breakfast. The buzzards are coming back.
Buzzards are back.
The buzzards coming back, and then
back.
you've got you'll start having maple festivals over in Geauga County.
Right.
That's how you know it's spring.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
The lights have returned.
There you go.
Let there
Was
be
it something
lights.
I said about the song "Shipping Up to Boston"?
Apparently the Dropkick Murphys got into this. Okay, earlier today you were out in Berea as. Boy, the Browns trucked out like everybody that they picked up here the last week in trades and a couple of their new free agents, plus a chance to hear from John Dorsey and Hugh Jackson. Takeaways from listening to the guys and listening to what was said today?
It was like we had all just come back from the Super Bowl parade in downtown Cleveland. That's what it was like out there, and I'm not kidding you. There was such a feeling of optimism and happiness out there, and happy with the players that they have gotten to come in, whether it be by trade or by free agency. And it was really something, and I think it was legit. I mean, I know the feelings are legit, but I think that they are very, very pleased with the work they had done. John Dorsey said, listen, we had a plan that we constructed over 2 months' time, and we pretty much went, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down, 10 new players on the team, but they went right through every step of the plan. Now, they didn't get everybody that they targeted right away, but if they didn't get the first guy, they got the second guy, okay? But the big thing was that Friday afternoon, coming up a week ago tomorrow, when they made those trades.
No doubt.
And that got the ball moving. But they're really, very, very upbeat. They're totally behind Tyrod Taylor as their starting quarterback. They don't care who they draft with probably the #1 overall pick. That guy is not going to come in and be the starting quarterback. Tyrod Taylor's the starting quarterback. You know what? Very different.
Yeah.
Very, very different. And Dorsey is not saying, hey, listen, this is a long process. He's saying, hey, we're going to win now.
Right.
Why not? We're going to go out and win now. We have a
That's
lot more
different.
talent.
That we haven't had that in this. I mean, I feel like it's
we
been
always
a long
have
time.
we always have these. You have to read them. It's like when they say, "Hey, listen, you can lease this car for $399 or something like that,"
Right.
And you don't read the fine print.
Right.
The Browns are like that in the past, saying, "Hey, listen, we're going to go young, but we're going to go really young."
It's a process. It's going to take time.
This was very different today. It really was different. And I could see it in the head coach. And I don't know if that's maybe because some of the burden is off of his shoulders
Jimmy,
right now.
I think that's a lot of it. I really do. I think and it's not just because they have an offensive coordinator. I just think, he and John Dorsey speak the same language. They're both long-term time football guys, in the trenches football guys.
Yeah.
And I think there's just more comfort there. There's not so much. I'm not saying there was an agenda. I'm not trying to throw that on Sashi Brown and the past regime, but they obviously didn't get along. This is different.
Yeah, and I think that Hugh is very happy that he has Tyrod Taylor and Hugh confirmed this today. What we talked about.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, Hugh confirmed today that they wanted Tyrod Taylor a year ago. They were only hoping that Buffalo was not going to come to a contractual agreement with him to rework his deal, and that they were probably going to have their hand forced and cut him, and the Browns were ready to leap right in and go get him. But that didn't happen. Taylor stayed, and they renegotiated his deal. He made it team friendlier, and then he remained their starting quarterback. But, I mean, they're very, very happy. And they don't want to be talking about bridge.
Yeah, you know what? I like Tyrod Taylor's attitude. Hey, the only bridge I want to talk about is bridging this team to the Super Bowl. I appreciate the attitude. I mean, it's everybody knows, it's no secret they're looking at a rookie quarterback. They're going to draft a rookie. But I like the attitude. Hey, look, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about, this goal. Great.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jarvis Landry, very good, really good. Tony Grossi told an interesting story to me that he talked to somebody inside the Dolphins organization that he has a good connection with. And he said that particular individual told him Jarvis Landry is the toughest guy on the Miami Dolphins team.
Wow.
Not the toughest guy to get along with. He's the toughest guy on the Miami Dolphins team. And you know what? This team needs some toughness.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They need to bow their backs a few times. When things aren't going well, they kind of cower too many times. And they need a guy that's going to get in that huddle and say, hey, listen, we can pull this thing out, and we are going to pull it out. Follow me. There aren't enough, voices like that.
And it does sound like, I mean, he said, hey, look, it's up to the Browns and the agents, but he sounds like he would like to have a long-term contract.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think they all would. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Taylor would like to have his deal done. I think he would like to have that done. So I think the Browns are in a really, they're in a much healthier position.
Yes.
And remember, the best is yet to come. The draft is coming.
The draft is coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, now it's 6 weeks. Between now and then, let's start thinking.
Dino,
about
I
the
want
draft.
to throw a name out because we're going to be doing that a lot here. But and this is going to please probably a lot of people around our local area. But I think the Browns are really in on Denzel Ward, the defensive back from Ohio State, from Nordonia. I think that they realize, first of all, I really do believe that they feel they need a cornerback,
Yes.
another cornerback, and a young cornerback, a guy that's their guy. I mean, they've brought in other people now, but they want to get a guy that's their guy,
Yes.
and they want speed. And I think that they're kind of onto him. Now, do they need to get him at 4? Can they move out of 4, but not too far down?
Yeah, I don't think they can move more than 6, 7, or 8, maybe.
Well, that might be doable, though.
Yeah.
There's a market for that number 4 pick of teams that want to get up and still get one of those quarterbacks. Now, if the Browns get their quarterback at number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, there's still 3 other quarterbacks out there. Just do the math. There are teams that still want to get one of those quarterbacks and might do a deal with the Browns to move down. But as Dino points out, and I agree, you don't want to go down too far.
Yeah. But
Then you're not going to get Denzel Ward or anybody else.
Well, and Ward, I mean, he's a top-tier cornerback, perfect. He's local guy, perfect. He's former Buckeye, perfect. I mean, Browns fans would know what to do with themselves if the Browns drafted a Buckeye, especially a Buckeye with Cleveland roots, in the first round. But I'm with you. I think the McCourty move today, and basically Randall saying, hey, look, I'm looking forward to being free safety. I'm excited about being the free safety. That was kind of, to me, thinking, I think they still want to have a cornerback to go on the other side of Chubb.
Yeah, and the other thing that's coming out, and it came out a little bit today, and this is with John Dorsey, and I've heard that, it's been being talked about out in Berea a little bit. They are going to challenge Jabril Peppers to be a better player. That maybe, it wasn't all playing 30 yards off the ball. They want to see more out of him, to live up to where the Browns drafted him. Now, I don't know if this particular regime agrees with where the Browns drafted him, which was in the first round. But the fact of the matter is they did draft him.
Right.
He is a first-round pick. You got to get him out on the field. There is talent there, but I think that's going to be competitive back there. And I don't think that's just going to be handed to Jabril.
So. I don't think. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think the strong safety position is just automatically his. I think there's going to be.
Agree.
I think there's going to be, and that's good. I mean, he needs to earn it, and I think that's good for everybody. Okay, so that's from the Browns standpoint. Also today is the day where I hope a lot of your coughs are out there feeling better. I hope your headaches are feeling better, your sore throats. Day 1 of the NCAA tournament today.
Yeah, call in sick.
Yeah, call in sick.
Boy, I got to tell you, I was sitting down at about 12 noon today.
Yes.
When the first game is going to tip off, and I said to myself, boy, this would be kind of nice to just sit here the rest of the day and just watch this.
I know.
But I went to Berea.
Yes, you did.
And drank the Kool-Aid out there, and it tasted good. And there'll be plenty of time to do that. Tomorrow, I can do it tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great. That's a great
I
time.
really enjoy. I really enjoy. And with all the changes that have been made in this tournament, the adding of the 4 teams and the Super Network with TBS and Turner and TNT, the fact that they're still playing these games on Thursday, Friday in the afternoon, and I still love it. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great.
Yeah, congratulations to Ohio State. They got a pretty good run today. A couple of different runs at them by South Dakota State. The game was tied at halftime. Yeah. It was a 3-point shooting game.
Oh, yeah. Ohio State threw up 43s, 43-pointers
and only
today.
made about 12, right?
Yeah,
12 for 40. South Dakota State did the same thing. I mean, but they live on the 3. That game was tied at halftime, and then Ohio State went out, to a double-digit lead, and then it got tight again at the end, and they were finally able to win the game. Now they have Gonzaga coming up on Saturday.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Chris Holtman kind of is trying to get his Buckeyes into this nobody believes in us type thing.
He did it in his post-game interview.
He's trying to get his team in that mindset that nobody thinks we should be here.
The poor sideline reporter, I don't think she knew where
what to
he
do.
was
No,
going.
I know.
And he comes out and he goes, "Hey, I want to thank all those journalists out there." And I think she's probably saying, "I don't think I said that. I don't think I ticked him off, did I?"
Right.
And she was puzzled, really, where he was going.
It's like, well, sorry, hey, Chris, you're a 5-12 game. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Everybody assumes that a 5th seed is going to get knocked out of the tournament in the first round. And, well, a lot of people thought the Jackrabbits playing not that far from home in Idaho, that we're primed to upset the Buckeyes.
Yeah, well, typically when you go into an arena for the NCAA tournament, and I can remember it happening here over at Cleveland State. The first time over at the Convocation Center, the Wolstein Center, when they first got the NCAA tournament. And I remember going over there, and here's my point. My point is that the crowd always will say, we're going to root for the underdog.
Right.
So the first game over there in a marvelous, they got great teams here that first year. St. Bonaventure played Kentucky. And Kentucky, I mean, is Kentucky, okay?
Right.
No, it wasn't one of the great Kentucky teams, but it was still very good.
It was a good
Tubby Smith, right. But St. Bonaventure came in and gave them everything and more, a couple of overtimes, before Kentucky finally pulled it out and won the game. But it was a great afternoon. It was a lot of fun. And I think Ohio State got a taste of that today, that the crowd said, hey, listen, first of all, the nickname of this team, Jackrabbits, pretty cool. Let's root for them.
Right. It's like whenever you have the Jackrabbits or the Roadrunners, I mean, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this team is cool.
Now, Paul Keels, the great radio voice of the Buckeyes, I was driving from Berea downtown. He had a great line, I thought, because South Dakota State came out, started to hit threes, and he went, I'll tell you what, the Jackrabbits have come out of their hole. And I didn't do that justice. I didn't do Paul justice.
Well, he's my Paul Keels is my second favorite football play-by-play announcer next to this guy. Okay, Sarah Shookman asked you on our Instagram, who do you like to win this tournament?
This is not a lot of people are going to scoff at me, but I have always been kind of a Duke fan.
What?
Well, because people say, "Oh, come on, Duke." I mean,
Yeah.
And did I get into Duke? No. Would I get into Duke's? If I applied 10 more times? No, I wouldn't. I don't know. There's just something about them I like. I love the way they play. I love the way. I love his story. I love the fact that he played at West Point. He coached at West Point. He went to Duke, and they were going to run his fanny out of there
very quickly
in his early years there, and then he turned it around. And they were kind of the last team to hold out, from having these kids leave early.
Yes.
But then they finally did.
Yeah.
Okay, and now they're kind of into the one and dones now too.
Right.
Anyway, I've watched them all year, and I know they've got the diaper dandies that Dick Vitale talks about, but they've been very inconsistent. I mean, there are times I look at them and I say nobody's going to beat them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then I look at them and they lose to North Carolina and they get handled in the ACC tournament. But so I don't know. They won today.
Yeah.
But so I always go with Duke.
You always go with Duke.
Yeah.
I go with Villanova this year.
I love Villanova.
They won 2 years ago.
And I'm going to tell you, I love Virginia.
Yeah.
And I like Tony
I
Bennett.
like Tony Bennett too.
And I remember his dad. Right, and I'm saying the right thing here. I remember when his dad coached when Cleveland State was in the conference with them. He was at Wisconsin Green Bay, right?
Yeah, before he
went to Wisconsin.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, and really, Tony coaches like his dad.
Yeah.
Because Tony's dad's teams, and certainly with Wisconsin, who he took to the Final Four one time, they play great defense, and Virginia plays great defense. I mean, they really do.
Yeah.
So
we'll keep an eye on that. I think I have. Let's see. I'm looking at Ben Axelrod's bracket over there, which partially got busted today. But it's okay. He's still the professor. I've got, I think, North Carolina, Virginia, Villanova, and Kansas. I think in my final. No, I took Duke in my Final Four as well. So. We'll see, but I got Villanova going all the way. So we'll see. I may end up having 3 of my teams get knocked out by the end of the weekend. So that's usually the way it works.
Not a lot of upsets today. Loyola, Chicago knocked out Miami.
Yeah, former Horizon League school. Yeah,
and former Bowling Green coach at Miami, right? Jim Larinaga.
Down he goes. except for George Mason. If he hadn't had that run with George Mason, I would say never bet on a Larranaga team.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Never had great success at BG in the MAC tournament during his times. Even though he had great players like Antonio Daniels, they never.
Would win it.
No, Bowling Green hasn't been to my alma mater. It's been 50 years since the last time they played in the NCAA tournament. The coach of that team, 2 years before he became a head coach of the Cavaliers, Bill Fitch.
Really?
Yep.
And of course, he means the world to me because as a kid growing up, he took the Celtics to a title with Larry Bird.
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Bill Fitch.
Bill Fitch.
Man.
Yep.
Very good.
Since then, it's been all downhill. So, all right. Well, hopefully your brackets are going well. We'll keep an eye on that, certainly. Jimmy, happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Dino, I want to leave you with one quick story, and that is
Please.
to tell you what kind of guy Joe Thomas is.
Oh,
okay.
Love this.
So he retires, makes it official yesterday.
Oh, by the way, he's getting got a proclamation today. Joe Thomas Day on 7/3/18.
July 3rd, that's right. So what did he do? On his first day as an officially retired NFL player, he coached Sean Coleman.
Of course he did, because you've been talking about this. You've talked about this a couple of times.
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Of course he did.
Yeah. He was in the field house working with Sean Coleman on footwork to be the left tackle.
And
I'm telling you, that guy is unbelievable.
Retired.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do any of that anymore.
I mean, Doug Deacon is trying to get him, along with Aaron Shea and those guys, to watch the NCAA tournament today.
Yeah.
But Joe is in the field house.
Working with Sean Coleman.
Yeah. Was Doug in the field house working with Sean Coleman? No.
No.
no, Doug was not. No, Doug was not in the field house.
Doug was
Yeah. Doug was in like some Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes.
You know? No, Joe Thomas was in there.
If you haven't seen that was the proclamation that Mayor Jackson signed again. Somebody asked me if there's going to be a parade. No, I don't think there's going to be a parade for Joe, but there will be.
No more parades.
There will be. We've covered enough sports parades.
Come on.
In the last couple of months. But I do think, yes, Joe will be at City Hall, I'm sure, and there'll be a nice little ceremony for him. And the city said, by the way, that thanks to you, the fans, for asking for this. So they must have received a lot of people out there saying, hey, look, you got to find some way to honor Joe Thomas. And they found a way to do it.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, you're coming off an 0-16, historically bad season. But in these days, people are really kind of optimistic and happy with what's going on out there. That's how much they want this team to show some signs of improvement. Yeah, and it's amazing.
You know what? And hearing about Sean Coleman, I'll be rooting for him. I love to hear that in March, he doesn't have to be at the facility. There's nobody telling him to be at the facility. He's in there, he's working, and he's taking the advice of a future Hall of Famer, his former teammate, because he wants to get better. I love that. I love that.
Remember Sean Coleman in his life.
He's overcome a lot.
He overcame leukemia.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
Stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. What a good way to end the week. All right, we'll see you back here on Monday. Again, Jimmy, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
For David Herberton and Jim Donovan, I'm Dave Ginatale. Thanks for watching the Donovan Live postgame show here on WKYC's Facebook Live.